warm welcome to Econojet Let's Talk Business with Mr. Daniel Steinman. I'm your hostess, Elsa Bitivignani. And when I say a warm welcome, I literally mean a warm welcome. We are in the winter season right now, and it's very cold. It's very cold in the capital city. I don't know how cold it is in the other towns, but it is cold. And today, reason being why we're talking about climate change is because how climate change really does affect what we are experiencing right now. We haven't had this cold experience in like 10 years ago or 20 years ago, but I was born 20 years ago in case you don't know. But warm welcome to everyone. A warm welcome to you, Mr. Daniel Steinman.
Thank you, Elsa B. I want to take you back 1 year because I hear people say, wow, it's so cold, it's so cold, it's so cold. But it's typically Namibia. As long as I can remember, we always go from summer to winter in 1 week.
Yeah.
And then come the end of August, we go from winter to summer again in 1 week. So this is not out of the ordinary. If you remember correctly, last year, I think it was the 11th or the 12th of June, is when we had sub-zero temperatures in Windhoek. And not again after that.
Yeah.
We had a very mild winter after that cold spell in the first half of June last year. And I can't say if it's going to be the same this year, but I mean the pattern is the same.
Yeah.
This is a cold spell. It's early for Namibia.
It
We're not really used to frost in June. Our coldest part is always that second, third week of July. And literally a week after that it is summer. So I'm not too concerned about the cold. It is cold outside Windhoek. I see that this morning I checked the weather stations, and I see that it was -1, -2 in some places, but most places 1 or 2 degrees in Windhoek. If I look at the temperatures outside Windhoek, it's a bit of a different picture. I saw Maltair -5. I saw at Summerdown -6. And I saw just north of Aminus -8. And then it's really cold.
Really cold.
Yeah. So that is what brings me to climate change. Is this an extraordinary cold spell? No. It's fairly normal. Is it early? Yes. But so was it last year. And if from what I've just said, you sense that I'm not a climate change skeptic. I'm a climate change realist. I think climate change is very much part of the way the globe is developing.
Yeah.
And you can't put 8 billion people with all the human activity that we've created with our modern industry on a ball of which the size is finite. Now that's a mouthful. What do I mean by that? The Earth is just one size. It's not growing with us.
Yes.
It's the same size that it was 5 billion years ago.
Yeah.
And if it continues to exist, it will probably be the same size 5 billion years from now. But the activity on the surface of the Earth has escalated. I mean, it is increased manifold. So yes, human activity must have an impact. The big question in the scientific circles is whether the natural cycles that affect conditions on Earth, whether they are stronger or weaker than the impact, in other words, the contribution to climate change from human activity. And I think it's going to take a while before we get a clear answer on that, because you know that in the past, in the ancient history of Earth, there were ice ages.
Yes.
And there were no 8 billion humans to warm the Earth and create a blanket around it and blank out the sun's rays.
Yeah.
But there was an ice age. There were more than one ice age, and there were dry spells and there were wet spells. And this is sort of the scientists who say that we should not take climate change too seriously. They look at the at the history of Earth over the last, let's say, million years, which is in the total existence of the planet, relatively short. You know, a million years, give or take, age of the Earth, doesn't make a big difference. Yes. But it's a long period. And the thing is, we don't have the luxury of riding out an ice age or a dry spell. We have to deal with the changes in the climate that we see and experience now.
Definitely.
You know, and what our children is going to experience over the next 50 years. And I think we have to be very realistic about our own contribution. In what I said earlier, that you cannot produce 1 million cars every year and let them run with 8 billion people all adding in some way to the energy and not expect it to have an effect.
And speaking of effect, so we will be talking about the economic impact of climate change right after this short break.